everybody. Here's Cardi. I'm fairly happy this morning because once again I'm able to speak on my webcam. I'm addicted to opening up the computer and surfing on the net. I like to listen to politics, ethics, philosophy, pseudo-philosophy, all the time. My favourite people are Eckhart Tolle and Louise Hay. I find Eckhart funny because I like his witticisms, and particularly his funny little laugh. I listen to somebody called Alan Watts, who I find rather grave and serious, but I love his voice. I have also listened to someone called Steph Bott. He's Canadian and he's very impressive when he speaks about ethics, morality, politics, etc. Beppe Grillo I find very passionate, exciting and also amusing, even though I can't always understand half of what, even a quarter of what he says. A year ago I found the Momo Zone. Momo was very convincing and he helped me a lot when I was going through a bad time, depressed and fed up at work. Other people might find him shocking, but that's only his language. The only problem with all of this talking into computers is that I fear sometimes I'm just wasting my time. As I said, it's pretty addictive. I go on the computer at 7 o'clock in the morning and sometimes it's 11 before I've finished playing around. Meantime, I eat my porridge and I do some washing up. I try to drink 2 glasses of hot water. Sometimes I stop gazing at the computer and exercise, dancing to electronic music. That is the marvellous thing about YouTube. You can get almost anything on it. But is this a profitable life? When I focus on the computer, I neglect other things. According to Eckhart, I understand that one should not label oneself, but I'll do that anyway. I'm 62 years old, female, white, European. Nothing to shout home about, but that's my label. If I died tomorrow, that would probably be as much as anyone might say about me apart from my family. I'm no one in particular, but for me, I am probably the most important person in my life. I'm the one that gets me from A to B. I agree with whoever said we all want to be famous for at least 15 minutes once in our lives. Maybe that's why I'm speaking to you now. I'm sitting in a flat which I own. My young 38-year-old Arab Tunisian husband is fast asleep, as he always is at this time of the morning, in the other room. There you are, I've labelled him too. Don't judge me. When I spoke to you last on YouTube, I was working. I'm now retired. I just couldn't take the pace of change in the job I was doing, which was serious and hard going. I'm now free physically and mentally, but a lot poorer financially. Nevertheless, I'm rich, relatively speaking, to millions of people all around the world. I'm well aware of that, and I know just how lucky I am. The one commodity which brings my riches home to me is water. Here in the UK, there's running water. Every morning I wash up the dishes from the night before. My wonderful husband has cooked a wonderful meal, so it's only fair that I clear up afterwards. I sluice off the worst of the remains of the food in the evening and leave it in the sink. I hate washing up. In the morning I soak the plates first and then I rinse them with very hot water. My flat's on a meter And I've watched my husband resort to this method when we lived in Sicily. I met him there. He was a work migrant, and the water only came through to his place every 3 days or so. It was a bit of a hovel. When he was living there alone, he could eke it out. But when I stayed with him, we often had to go a day or more without running water. We needed to save the water in buckets and tubs and plastic bottles. I found it pretty much hell, but I got used to it, and it was character forming. Here the water gushes out, but it's expensive. The cost of water and electricity is going up all the time, and all of this will impact on me, particularly now I'm on my pension. We are, as my husband says, pensionista. I suppose I could go out to work again, but just now I want to manage and use this as a time to create and enjoy my life. I feel I should. Maybe you don't think I deserve it. Well, don't judge me. I will try to use my time wisely. Maybe I'll use it to pray. When I was a kid, I was sometimes on a retreat in my Catholic primary school, and also in the convent that I went to later. We were taught to offer up the things we didn't like to God, to Jesus. Washing up is something I can regularly offer up. I dislike it, and so it is a penance. Whether prayer will actually get me anywhere is another thing. It takes my mind off things and also takes away pain if you do it in that way. Silence is also something I can offer up, though I don't care for silence too much. I find it difficult. When one is alone, one has to think. All the human emotions swirl round in one's brain. As I'm nearing the latter part of my life, I realise I've learnt very little which I can offer to anyone coming after. We each of us have to journey alone, and it's very likely I'll have to come back to experience more, because I'm very much away from being an enlightened soul. I don't always dry the dishes, and if I leave them long enough, thankfully I find many of them have dried naturally, and so I'm able to speed up the procedure with less effort. I like that. Also, I've read somewhere that if you use a tea towel, you're probably transferring a load of bacteria from plate to plate. By just putting them away, I save myself time and bacteria transfer. Wonderful. Depending on my mood, I find housework satisfying or boring. It has to be done, and someone has to do it. The clever ones have managed to create enough bombs to blow up the world, but not yet found a method of washing up that is cheap or more cheerful than human hands. Those of us who are ready to wash up keep the world going round, though for sure sometimes we contribute to our own demise by being so biddable. Some of us, like me, escape, using their big ego to pass the time talking on YouTube. Anyway, try not to judge me. This is only a little chat. Outside my flat, there's an oak tree, which has probably stood there for 1,000 years. Can you believe it? The sky's grey, the traffic is passing intermittently, but I'm lucky I can sit here on this starkly beautiful day. Thank you for listening to me and my ramblings. Thank you for giving me your time. Bye for now.